Hello everyone, I'm Paul and this is problem 1140, Stone Game 2. This is a medium problem that might become quite tricky, so let's see how to solve it step by step. Alice and Bob are playing a game in which they have to take piles of stones from a row. So if we're given this input, this is the row and every element is a different pile of stones. The player with the most stones by the end of the game wins, and Alice starts first. Now in this version, on each player's turn, the player can take all the stones in the first X remaining piles, where the number of piles is in between 1 and 2 times m. M is initially 1, and then we set m to the maximum between m and the selected number of piles of stones. Assuming that both players play optimally, we have to return the maximum number of stones Alice can get, and remember that Alice starts first. So let's see what this means first. Alice starts and she can take any number of piles in between 1 and 2 times m, where m is 1, meaning any number in between 1 and 2. So she can take either this pile or these 2 piles, because we read this from left to right. Remember that we can't sort this array, so we can't take this pile, for example. We have to go from left to right. So let's say that for some reason both players decide to take the maximum number of piles. First Alice can take 2 piles, and the new m would be the maximum between 1 and the selected number of piles, 2. So the new m would be 2, which means that next Bob can take 2 times 2 piles as maximum, meaning 4. And if he takes 4 piles, the new m would be the maximum between 2 and 4, which is 4, which means that next Alice can take 2 times 4 piles, meaning 8, and so on, okay? So maybe you're thinking about taking the maximum number of piles every time, but this is wrong. Why? Well, let's say that we do exactly this, and at some point we are in this scenario, in which we have to take 8 piles with Alice. Let's say that we step into 8 ones. We add 8 to the corresponding score, and then we have Bob's turn with 16 piles. Let's say that next we have 16 nines. In this scenario, Bob will win. So the most intelligent thing that we can do with Alice is to not take these 8 piles. For example, we can take 1 pile or 7 piles, whatever's best for this case. For example, if we take 7 piles, next we have Bob's turn and he can take any number of piles in between 1 and 16. So if he takes 1, then we can take all the 9s. If he takes 16, then we will have at least 1 9 at the end, and so on. The most important part here is that we should not take 8 piles of 1s in this case. We should take a different number in between 1 and 8. And this leads us to the following. Let's say that we are given this input. First we have Alice's turn, and she can take either this pile or these 2 piles. We don't know what's best, but maybe we can explore both scenarios. How? Well, with dynamic programming. So this would be the decision tree in this case. First we have Alice's turn. She can take either this pile or these 2. If she takes these 2, the total score is 2 plus 7, meaning 9. Next we have Bob's turn. So if Alice takes only 1 pile, Bob starts from here to the right. He can take either this pile or these 2 piles, which means that the scores are 7 or 16. If Alice takes 2 piles, Bob starts from here to the right, so he can take up to 4 piles because now m is equal to 2 and we have only 1 element left, so Bob can add 9 to the score. For the next level we have Alice's turn again, and in this scenario if Alice takes 1 pile, then Bob takes 1 pile, Alice has 1 pile remaining, so she adds 9 to the score, and 2 plus 9 is equal to 11. Now this is fine. Maybe you are thinking that this is the result, but remember that both players are playing optimally, which means that if we reach this scenario, Bob will take 2 piles because Bob is playing optimally, so we will never reach this amount of stones with Alice. So the most intelligent thing that we can do if we are Alice and we are trying to get the maximum number of stones is to take the first 2 piles. Here the score would be 9. Next we have Bob's turn. he has only one pile left, so he takes this, the score for Bob will be 9, and by doing this, the maximum score that we can get with Alice is 9, so we return this. So once again, we will explore some of these scenarios by solving small subproblems and using those results to solve larger subproblems, which is the definition of dynamic programming. So let's see how this works. First, we need a suffix sum array. You will see why in a moment. In case you know how to build this, we are iterating elements in these piles from right to left. So we start with the last element, and the value at each index here corresponds to the current value plus the accumulated number. 9 plus 0 is 9, so here we put 9. Next we have a 7, so we do 7 plus 9, which is 16. Next we have a 2, 16 plus 2 is 18. And now we are building a DP grid where rows are different indices in the array and columns are different values of m. We are iterating these cells in reverse. So what do we put here? First, we are standing here at index 2, which means that we are here, right? And m is equal to 3, so we can take 2 times 3 piles as a maximum, but we only have one left. From this point to the right, we can take all the piles. And for this, we have our suffix sum array. We can go to the current index in this array, meaning 2, and use this number here. So whenever the current index plus the number of piles that we can take, meaning 2 times m, is greater or equal to the total amount of elements, we can take the corresponding value in the suffix sum and use that value in the current cell. Next, we are standing here at index 2 still, so we are here, and m is equal to 2, which means that we can take 2 times 2 piles as a maximum, but we only have one left. We can take all the piles from here to the right. 2 plus 2 times 2 means 4 is equal to 6. From here, we could take all the piles up to index 6, but 6 is out of bounds. Given that this is larger than n, here we just use the corresponding value in the suffix sum array at index 2, meaning 9. Next we are here, the index is 2, m is equal to 1, 2 plus 2 times 1 is equal to 4, and 4 is larger than 3, so here we use the value in suffix sum at index 2, meaning 9. Now we are here and we have to keep it 0. Why? Well, because in the description it says that m is initially 1, which means that m will never be 0, so we can forget about this column. And here is why here we have 4 columns instead of 3. We need 3 columns for these 3 elements, but we are using 4 because we are never using this first column. Okay, so remaining columns are equal to the number of elements in the array. Next we are here, standing at index 1, and m is equal to 3. So we do 1 plus 2 times 3, which is 6, the result is 7, and 7 is out of bounds. So from here to the right, we can take all the elements. We go to the suffix sum array at index 1, meaning here, and put this value here. Next, we are here at index 1. 1 plus 2 times 2 is equal to 5, which is out of bounds. So we take this value and put it here. Next, we are here at index 1. M is equal to 1, so we do 1 plus 2 times 1. The result is 3, which is equal to n. So at this point, we can take all the elements from here to the right. We put this value here. Here we keep 0, so we can continue. Next, we are here at index 0. M is equal to 3, so 0 plus 2 times 3 is equal to 6, which is out of bounds. So we can take this value and put it here. Next, we are at index 0, m is 2, 4 is greater or equal to n, so we put 18 here. Now we are here and everything will make sense. We are at index 0, meaning here, and m is equal to 1, which means that we can take 2 times 1 piles as a maximum. From here, we can take these 2 piles, okay? 0 plus 2 times 1 is equal to 2. We can reach this index as a maximum, which means that we can take these 2 piles as a maximum. Now, this means that we cannot take all the piles from here to the right, which means that this is not the value to use here. So how can we handle this? Well, maybe we have to take one pile, or maybe we have to take two piles. So we are iterating different numbers of piles from 1 to 2 times the current m, which is 1. This value is initially 0, so dp at row 0 column 1 is initially 0. And we are testing the scenario in which we take only the first pile, only this pile. Next we will test the scenario in which we take two piles. So let's start with 1. If we take this pile, next in Bob's turn, he starts from pile number 1, right? So we can take all the elements from this index to the right, the total number of stones, which is right here at the current index, that would be 18, minus the scenario that we are missing because of taking this pile only. So if we take this pile, next Bob starts from the current index plus x. We are starting at index 0, x is 1, so Bob starts from pile number 1, and the new m is the maximum between the current m and x. This is in the description. The maximum between 1 and 1 is 1. So we are missing this scenario. We take the total number of stones minus the scenario that we are missing, 16, and this is equal to 2. The maximum between 2 and what we have here initially is 2, so here we put a 2. And now we can test the scenario in which we take two piles. In this scenario we are taking these two piles from index 0, right? So Bob will start from index 2. We take the current index plus x, and that's index 2. So we take the total number of stones from index 0 to the right, meaning 18, minus the scenario that we are missing because of taking these two piles. We go to index 2 at the maximum between 1 and 2, which is 2. Okay, 18 minus 9 is equal to 9, and 9 happens to be larger than 2, so here we use a 9. The value here is 9. And that's it. From index 0 with an m of 1, we can take either one pile or two piles. We have already explored both scenarios, and the maximum possible number of stones is 9. So we are solving future scenarios first, that's why we go in reverse, and using those results to solve present scenarios. And given that we are going in reverse, the final result would be in the starting point. We start from index 0, meaning we are looking at this row, and m is equal to 1 initially. This is in the problem description. So we are looking at this element. Here we just return 9. Time complexity here would be big O of n cubed. Why? Well, because we are iterating all the cells, which requires n squared, and if we ever find a scenario in which the current index plus 2 times m is more than n, we have to try different values for x in the range from 1 to 2 times m. So that will require big O of n overall, which means that overall time complexity is n cubed, and space complexity would be big O of n squared, which is given by this TP grid mostly. So with this in mind, let's go with the code. First, we can say that m is the length of the array that we are given piles. We need a DP grid, which is an array that includes an array with 0 times m plus 1. Remember to add one column here for every index in range n, which is the amount of rows. We want a suffix sum array, so this is an array which includes the last value initially, piles at -1 times n elements, and we can fill the rest of the indices now. So for I in range from n minus 2 to -1 in steps of -1, the current value is the previous accumulated value, so we are looking at the next index plus the current value in piles. And once we have this, we can fill the grid. So for I in range, we go in reverse, and for every m in range, and remember that we have one more column, so we go from n to 0. We are skipping the first column in steps of -1. We have two possible scenarios. If the current index plus the number of piles that we can take is greater or equal to n, then we can take all the stones from the current index to the right, and that's why we have the suffix sum array. So dp sorry, this would be dp at I m is now equal to suffix I. Else, this means that we have to try different values for x in the range from 1 to 2 times m. So for every x in range from 1 to 2 times m plus 1, because this is non-inclusive and we want to include this, we can say that the current value dpim is the maximum between dpim and the total number of stones from the current index to the right, meaning suffix I, minus the scenario that we are missing because of the current choice, dp at I plus x, and here we take the maximum between m and x. So after the current scenario, the next m would be the maximum between m and x. Remember that this is in the description. And here this should be dp, I'm misspelling this. And that's it. Now down here we can return the first scenario. We start from index 0 and m is initially 1. So let's submit this and see if it works. As you can see, this works and it's very efficient. If you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.